Hello again. What's going on, sports cars fans? Ray from Philly here. It is Wednesday, February 4th. And as you know, we're coming down to the wee couple days left of the 2026 fourth annual Football Card Hall of Fame. And I'm joined by the chairman of the Football Card Hall of Fame, Scotty Tradition, Bart of Bart's Cards. How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, Ray. Thanks for having us again.
Yeah, no problem. And as usual, we're joined again by a legendary person here, Dr. Jim Beckett, who's going to go through his analysis and his picks for who he would like to see get into the Football Card Hall of Fame. Dr. Jim, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thanks for doing this, guys.
It's our pleasure. Our pleasure. So, yeah, we were talking off there. We reduced it, or Scott and Bart reduced it to 5 cards get in this year. You know, you could still vote for up to 10 if you want, and it's all good. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this. We're curious to see what your thoughts are on the cards and why you picked it, and we're looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Okay. So the first card is this one.
First of all, Ray, first of all, the ballot, it didn't. I had to dig to figure out that the deadline for ballots is, I think, this
Friday.
On Saturday.
Yep, 6 Feb.
And then
Friday, yep.
So you're only going to elect 5, but I can pick up to 10.
Yes, sir.
And I have waited to pull the trigger until I talk to you guys, kind of like I did you could talk me out of it maybe, but I'm just one man, one vote. I don't multiple vote. There's
Gotcha.
No triple Tuesdays or anything like that. So, but I affirm moving to only electing 5 a year. I think that's going to, I think in the hobby especially, we want to have a select Hall of Fame that's the best of the best.
Yeah. And it was, Bart and Scott thought that was the way to go. Excellent. And I totally agree. Yeah.
Well done, guys.
Yeah, we thought there was a good number right at the beginning that, like, hey, we just know they're going to make it, and we don't need to belabor the point for a couple of years with those. So we got the big classes in, and then it's like, all right, let's fine tune from here.
Yep.
This year, I did not look as much at who is already in. I kind of remember, but I'm thinking, I just have a ballot of 45. I'm going to pick the best 5 or 10 or 12, vote for 10. But I think baseball is a little more problematic with overrepresentation of Mickey Mantle, and basketball would be overrepresentation of Michael Jordan. But
right.
Football, I think you guys have done a great job.
Yep. Well, we thank you.
Okay.
So we're starting off with the 1888 N162 Goodwin Champions Harry Beecher card.
I did not vote for that, even though it's very worthy. I'm glad it's on the ballot, but I think there was a find of those, or somebody had been hoarding those a number of years ago. I remember I didn't see him for a while, and then I saw a guy with a stack of them at his table. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I think there was a guy
that 20 years.
20 or 30 of them or something like that.
Yeah. Somebody in East Coast, I think, when I used to go to those shows. But that make it less worthy of a card. It's just I didn't. If this is not an NFL football card Hall of Fame, it's a football card Hall of Fame, and I think that's the right way to go. Okay. Actually, because you do have USFL.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
So,
AFL too.
And AFL. So I did not vote for Harry Beecher, but he may eventually get in.
All right. And you got the 1894 Mayo Cup plug, John Dunlop. That's new on the ballot.
Same reasoning. There's some of the guys I knew in the 70s, they were, that's just a great, that's kind of the first football set.
Yep.
So again, worthy, but I didn't have it in my top 12. I've actually got 12, and I'm only going to vote for 10.
Yeah, me and Scott didn't have super high expectations for Beecher and the cut plug here, but we like to take the opportunity, hopefully, to educate along the way. So, to getting that voting populace out to see some of the broad range of football cards are out there, we want to make sure we had cards like this on the ballot. Beecher did better than we thought last year as well, so we'll see how it goes this year.
Well, I love that attitude because, again, if they do roll up their sleeves and dig into it, they'll see that some of these older cards they don't see very often are very worthy, very worthy.
All right.
Okay, Clark Hinkle. I may have said this before, but my dad had one national chickle card. It was Clark Hinkle.
Wow.
Now, my dad grew up in the Chicago area at that time, and Hinkle was across the border. So, and was a great, great player. And but I did not vote for him, even though sentimentally, actually, I did vote for him. I put him 6th.
Oh,
on
okay.
my ballot. Because you probably already have Nagurski and Rocky.
Yes.
And this would maybe be the 3rd best card. So it's, again, he's underrated, just like Bart was saying. When you research it, you think, hey, that guy was all pro every year. So
Yeah, I have a
Okay.
question for you, Dr. Beckett. So, do you think there's any other 1935 Chickle cards that deserve to be on the ballot other than the Hinkle?
Well, I actually don't think Hinkle's going to make it, but to me, he'd be the 3rd most noteworthy. But the other 2 are so far above that I think there's a drop off there. Even though performance-wise, he's very worthy. But that wasn't what back in the 70s when those didn't seem as ancient. That wasn't what they were looking for, the Nagurski mainly. And the Rockney was not as tough, but it was still a great card. So big drop off.
Okay.
Kenny Washington, same thing. I don't think he's going to get in, but they could do a movie about him, and it'd be a cool movie. So he's got a great story, great athlete, great football player. But again, like Bart said, you're creating awareness, and who knows? Maybe he'll get in eventually, but
not this year.
A little bit too obscure, probably. Did not vote for him, but keep him on the ballot. Sid Luckman, Rich Klein, my Columbia friend, patron saint of Columbia football, which is fallen on hard times, I think. Sid Luckman, I did not vote for. He probably would have been in my second 10. I'll tell you what, the one I have doesn't look anything as nice as the one you're showing here. Those are really, really tough to find in great shape.
Yeah.
So did not vote for Luckman.
Okay.
Keep him on the ballot. Bobby Lane, I actually had him 9th on my ballot. And this is, I figured, I've been trying to be, I always want to be a straight shooter, but there's nothing wrong with being a little bit of a homer. Everybody else is doing that. So I thought, Bobby Lane, went to the high school that's just a couple miles away.
Wow.
And my kids went there. And so I just think, again, way before, but he was a great player.
Yeah,
high school,
sure.
college. I lived in Pittsburgh when he was traded to the Steelers in the mid 50s there. And he was going to be the big hope for them, and he couldn't pull it all the way out. But he was a great quarterback. So I have him 9th on my ballot.
Okay.
I think me and Scotty got a soft spot for these 48 Leafs as well.
Oh, they're great.
Especially
They're beautiful
on there. Both big boy Van Buren here as well as the Blonde Bomb.
I love this card.
Well, I would vote for Van Buren just because of the big boy. Now, he is not the patron saint of the big boy hamburgers that were all across the Midwest back in the day, but he was fierce. So, I didn't vote for him, but he's good. Crazy Legs. When I was starting to watch football, he was kind of at the end of his career. And so I never really saw the Crazy Legs action that much. I think that was more in the early 50s, but he may eventually get in, but he was not on my ballot.
It's a cool looking card though, with his leg up like that.
It is.
It's beautiful looking card. Yeah.
It's artistic, but they had to get a photo and replicate. Paterno is actually one of the 4 cards on your ballot that I have never owned. I had chances to own it, but and it wasn't anything political or anything. He was a great coach for a very long time and was a good quarterback too. But institution at Penn State until he wasn't, and he may need not to make him wait necessarily, but I think the passage of time may be good for him. That's a great card. That's a great card. Like I said, I never owned it. Probably had chances to buy it and didn't for whatever reason. Bought something else.
Gotcha.
Great card. Doak, same thing. He went to the same high school as Bobby Lane. So again, same thing. And he also went to SMU. So I have him 10th on my ballot.
Okay.
I don't know that
that's a tough one for us because there's a popularity that me and Scotty don't necessarily see on this one. But we like to put it on there for the set builders because this is number 1 in that set. So it kind of gets some of that notoriety, but we always kind of scratch our heads on the popularity of this one.
Well, I guess he was a quadruple threat. He could kick, he could pass, he could run, and he could catch. He was a great athlete.
It's also the non-rookie, so this took 50 to leapfrog the 48s too.
So again, the 50 Bowmans, the artistic renderings are terrific. So I think that's good. So let's see, Van Brocklin.
The colors on this are awesome.
The colors are great, but I did not vote for him. I don't nothing against him, and the reason is I'm picking the next guy, obviously, Tom Landry. Tom Landry lived a block away from where I'm sitting right now.
Wow.
And my wife was good friends with his daughter, and I got to know him a little bit, toward the end of his career. And a wonderful man, passed away now. 29 years with the Cowboys, and steady hand and offensive and defensive brilliance as a coach. And he was not fast, really pretty slow, but he had great instincts and defensive back. Good player too.
Great card.
So I have that in, and that is my
4th.
2. That's my number 2.
Oh, okay.
In my ranking, it's the second one.
Number 2nd ranking.
Ranking. So I was just ranking him. M. Tennell, I remember him late in his career, ball hawk, cool name and everything. I don't know any other Emlins. But I just don't think, he's, the defensive back guys. I don't know that he's going to. Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it, but he's certainly worthy.
Right.
Those guys, they got lots of interceptions back in the day.
Yeah.
Some of those. Gifford. You didn't already put the smalls in, did you?
No.
No.
Because it looks like a small that you have there on the screen, because they looked. I think they looked exactly the same except for the. That's funny. I wonder if they're exactly the same with the proportionality in terms of the rectangularity, of the width and the height of the card.
Where they are.
It's a great looking card. They're probably the same artwork, but it may have different border treatments. I've never thought about that till just now.
Yeah, me neither.
That one is 20% bigger than the other or something like that. But that was a close call. And again, probably a quintuple threat, because he could do everything Doak Walker could do, plus announcer.
Plus his announcing was great. I loved it.
His announcer was very calming with all the craziness that was going on in the booth
on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, and he was a non-sports kind of a media person as well. So
good, clear.
I think he could get in eventually. And that's a great card. I had Jim Lansford at number 11, so he's not going to make my ballot. But again, in the early 70s and the mid 70s, when I was hitting it really hard and completing all these sets, that's the 4th card I haven't Yeah, I never had that one either. I never had that, and they just it was on every want list. It
Right.
seemed like it just if you had that, you could have traded it for almost any other football card in the 50s.
Right.
So sentimentally, I'd like to see it get in. I think the hobby has moved past. In almost every case, they've moved away from difficult to obtain base cards, common cards.
Right.
But it's a condition rarity as well as you don't find it, and then you don't find it well centered or
right.
Just.
And this is card
corner of
number
the sheet, probably.
card number
144.
1, right?
Well,
Or
what?
last
144. Yeah,
144.
144.
Gotcha.
So, Blanda, that's a cool looking card.
That is
but
a really awesome
I did
card.
not vote for it because it's amazing to think that more than 20 years later, he was still playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And not just kicking, because he'd come in as the relief quarterback, the backup quarterback. So real hats off to that. That he's an inspiration for every guy that wants to.
Who was he? Who was he the backup for? LaMonica or Stable?
Probably a Raiders. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good card.
So did not vote for him. Didn't vote for Horning either. I think he's a distant third to Star and Unitas.
Right.
But still a great card.
Right.
Scotty just keeps making us put that one in there.
Night Train, I remember him. We should get in for his nickname, but I did not vote for him. It's not. If he was Dick Lane without a nickname, but he had amazing interception totals.
Yeah.
So, game changer. Okay, Ditka. Let's see if I can keep topping myself. Yeah, I'm going to say that this guy, I don't think he could pass. But I saw him play in person in college.
Wow.
And he was untackleable at Pitt as a Pitt Panther, because we lived in the suburbs of Pittsburgh in those days. That's why I was a Pirate fan, a little bit of a Steeler fan, but Pitt Panthers went to the game, and I remember who they were playing, but they couldn't tackle him. He wasn't even running hard down the field. It was like a cartoon. But again, he had success as a coach. He had success in the media for announcing, as well as kind of being a media personality, and he transcended pop culture. And then the last thing is, I think 62 Tops, because of its condition rarity, is a really interesting set, and the short prints and all that. So
right,
I have that as my number 4 card.
Okay.
So I'm really I'm not getting, you don't get extra points, I guess, for being for it. But I really think he deserves to get in it. And that's ahead of Ernie Davis and Fran Tarkenton. Both those guys are very worthy too. And sentimentally, I'm before, in the old days, Tarkenton was valued and esteemed more than Ditka. I think now maybe it's flipped.
Yeah.
And Ernie Davis was more, but Ditka just kept on.
Right.
And doing outrageous stuff and being larger than life. So
right. So that's a no for Tark.
So no for Tarkenton and no for Ernie Davis, even though I hope they eventually get in. Like I said, I love the 62 Tops football set. 63 Fleer, Lance Allworth. I don't think it's going to get it in, but I loved watching him play, because I'm not a huge guy. When I played in the various leagues I played in, of flag football and stuff like that, I'm not saying I was Bambi. But, he had a grace, and he had good hands. He ran good routes. He had a lot of breakaway plays. So, but I don't think he was much bigger. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but
he's not a big guy.
All around, he wouldn't be the biggest guy for sure.
Right.
I think he was like regular size, and that's That's cool. So sentimentally, I'd like to see him get in, but I don't think he will. Same with Len Dawson. My experience was that I think I picked up a 63 Fleer set.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, if you try to piece it together one at a time, they're tough. They're tough. On the other hand, I usually found them in really good condition. I just think they were underproduced in this year of overproduction in 63. And, maybe that's because Fleer was their last year.
Right.
And it wasn't doing so great.
Yeah, I feel like the centering is always tough on those 63.
Yeah. Well,
left to right's real bad.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the corners, the edges, but I have a problem with the centering.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Lily, I sentimentally, and Nitschke, the Packers were the nemesis of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Back in those days, and so you couldn't like the Cowboys without hating Nitschke. I no longer hate Ray Nitschke. In fact, somebody got me an 8x10 that was to Jim from Ray Nitschke. And I don't think he said, "I'm not so bad" or whatever. He put an inscription in there. I got to dig it out one of these days. But sorry, Ray, you're not going on my wall. Still.
And no for Bob Lilly.
No for Bob Lilly, but sympathetically, I hope he gets in. He
was he the first Cowboy ever drafted? I heard.
Yeah, number one overall, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
I went to TCU. One of my buddies says that he stole Bob Lilly's girlfriend. Married it.
I love it.
No way to verify that, except that I knew the wife. She's passed away now, and the guy has passed away. So no, not a verifiable story at this point. But he repeated it in public. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and my buddy would never be confused for Bob Lilly. Would never be confused for a football player either. Deacon, I'd love to see him get in, and then you have the problem. Baseball has the edge on every other sport in the sense of the longevity of the statistics and the articulation of individual statistics.
Yeah, no doubt.
And football, if they just started collecting info and stats on sacks, Deacon Jones might be the all-time leader.
Yeah.
Because they didn't start until he was already
in like his fifth year, probably, right?
Something like that. And he was 15 sacks a year or something. He was a sack monster.
That was a no for Deacon?
That was a no, yeah.
Okay.
I'm running out of room, guys. Bob Greasy is the consummate, again, I can make some people mad, game manager guy. Now he game managed so well, he had an undefeated season.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said for that. But I'm
starting to like this card more and more.
I think it's a great looking card. And but I did
we tossed this one on. We didn't have high expectations by any means either, but it's a good looking card, and then you just gotta
it's a good looking
spread
card.
some love with the different issues and things like that. See where the voters go with it.
Yeah. If you had a hall of almost good enough, he had this inner sanctum of 30 or 40 cards, and then you had another group of cards that almost made it, he'd get some attention, and people would say he ought to be in there too.
Yeah.
OJ, I was gonna, I want to talk to you guys about the make them wait philosophy that I don't think you're employing for the Card Hall of Fame, but apparently the Football Hall of Fame has a make them wait stance.
Yeah.
And there's two kinds of make them waits. One is to make them wait at least a year when they ought to get in immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is, which is the ultimate insult. Well, not the ultimate, but the almost ultimate insult is, we're going to wait until you die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the biggest insult is, we're going to wait until you die. And then this is really mean spirited. And then we're still not going to put you in.
Wow.
And I'm afraid OJ is in that category, even though he was absolutely a Hall of Fame running back. And he was, I went to the Rose Bowl where he went crazy. So I was thinking, I got to find ticket stubs, guys. There's somewhere around here.
The Eagles passed on him in the draft.
Oh my goodness!
They took Leroy Keys instead.
Yeah. Well, Leroy Keys, I saw him play in person as well. He came down and played. As Purdue, I think, played SMU in '67, and I was there. And he was, I think he was DB, but also they'd put him at receiver a little bit, and he'd return some kicks, and he was best player on the field. Mean Joe, in spite of my friendship with John Newman, not going to make it. Not going to make it. But he's going to be, if he were not so great, we would know how good L.C. Greenwood is.
Yeah.
And we don't, because L.C. Greenwood was playing next to a guy that was just a monster.
Yeah.
And anchoring, probably having double and triple teams all the time. So Mean Joe, I hope he gets in. I guess I could see Mean Joe and Terry Bradshaw from the 71.
Same set, yeah.
Getting in. Those would be the two best. Largent, I did not vote for him, but I think he could eventually get in at some point.
Right. Is this when they started with the licensing? Because I don't see a logo on his helmet here for the Seahawks.
Well, I think a lot. 76. I didn't think they had distinguishing team marks in 76 either.
Okay.
In the 70s, I think Topps was not
right. Yeah,
was not fully licensed. Although I think they just looked the other way. It just wasn't that big a deal.
Right.
Okay, Tony. I've met Tony, and he was a great college running back, and he went to the perfect situation with the Cowboys. And that's a good card, but I'm not. My homerism has limits. So I'm going to stop. Even though he went to University of Pittsburgh, but that was after I was not there.
Right.
A couple of these, especially these last two, the 70s. That's our demographic, I guess, in the voting.
Yeah.
So they've always done really strong, and any of the 70 cards have done really well. So we make sure we slot a couple more into the ballot to see how well the next crop of 70s cards do.
I think that's great, and I like I said, I think that the Hall of Fame, who is it for? Is it for the people? Is it for the players? I don't think so. I don't think you're going to have the players commenting that much about who got in and didn't get in.
Yeah.
But if there's a virtual football card Hall of Fame that you guys are working so hard on, I hope collectors will dig in and say, hey, why is this card worthy? And that card would be worthy. Is the player worthy? Is the card, the set, all that stuff? So yeah. Earl, he might have been. Actually, I did have him in. He's my 8th. I ranked him 8th. And the reason is the factor that whenever back in the 70s, 80s, when I was more aggressively buying collections and before I was doing price guides, when you found 79 Topps, you only looked for one card.
Yeah.
Just one card. Now, he has a league leader and a record breaker and stuff like that, but just look for the one card.
Yeah.
And if that card was in there and in good shape, that was good. But there was
greatest highlight films ever.
Well, see, I saw him play in college because he was at University of Texas and I was at SMU. I guess I was kind of in grad school and kind of, back in town every once in a while. So I saw him play in person, and he was a human battering ram, and he paid the price.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did
the price because he's
not in great shape. Yeah.
He hammered himself into a wheelchair. So
Yeah.
I really feel bad about that. But
those Monday Night Football games were just legendary games. I watched him. They tore his jersey off and they couldn't stop him. I mean, beast.
I mean, he broke it down to a simple thing. He said, he's getting through the line and there's somebody in front of him. Is he going to juke him left, juke him right,
or run over them?
He's going straight through. He's going straight through. Let's see.
Ronnie Lott.
I didn't vote for Ronnie Lott. I'm again 49ers, a little bit Cowboys nemesis during some of those years. I think he's a great player, all around good football player. I think he could have played linebacker and safety, cornerback, whatever. But I didn't vote for him. I don't know, just had too many others ahead of him. LT, I think this card will eventually get in. He's probably in the teens for me. I did not vote for him, but is he my 15th or somewhere in there? Same thing. I think, let me think about this. If you get an 82 top set, that's the card you look for.
Yeah.
So again, that's extra points for me. But the other thing that you guys know is, and then he's got an inaction card, the very next number, and it's not a dog. I mean, it's in his rookie year, but the demand drop off is so amazing that I think new collectors haven't figured that out. Hey, it's his rookie year, but it's
great looking set too,
and it's a good looking set.
Love that set. I think he's faulted by the picture they chose on that one. If they'd have just had him standing there in a blue Giants jersey looking tough, he'd probably do a lot better there.
Awesome. Yeah.
I agree. It shows him being contemplative.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's in his vocabulary.
not in 82 it wasn't. That's
he was a heat-seeking missile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it moved, he was gonna squish it. Both of the next two. Well, let's see. Steve Young. I did not vote for that. It could eventually get in. Again, I think he has some popularity and he's a quarterback, but I didn't vote for him. I had Reggie as 7th on my ballot of 10. And that's because number one, he's passed away. Not number one, he's passed away, but number one, he was great. Number two, this is again, there's a lot of discussion about the true rookie card, and it's not pack pulled, but it's a legitimate card, and it's always been a card that's been in demand because his tops, he doesn't pick up with tops for a couple of years.
Right.
So
great card.
I regard this as like an XRC, obviously, and I voted for it. Santa Claus, the best thing I can say is keep it on the ballot. I don't. I think it's a novelty. The one that has Lud Denny in the picture, which I think is like a promo or something. Isn't there one with? I think there's one that has Lud.
Is there, Scott? Bart?
There's another Santa card, right, Bart?
Yeah, there's another Santa that's limited. It's like an SP. It wasn't in packs. It wasn't in packs.
9, and then there's a 90 Pro set one that comes out, and then they get all kinds of different ones there. I'm not sure which one you're talking about there.
I'll have to look it up, but there's one where Lud, during some of the years I knew him, he was shaped like Santa Claus. Now he's passed away, and he was a brilliant marketing guy, but he could play Santa Claus and be convincing. In fact, he was convincing in everything he did. He could sell anything to anybody, I think. Dion, I have Dion in my football section, even his baseball cards, just because I think he was an okay baseball player, decent baseball player, but football, he was unbelievable. And I think that card could actually get in at some point, but not this time for me.
Gotcha.
So, okay, big surprise, big reveal. I have the Bo supplemental 3rd on my ballot.
Wow. Nice.
I think, again, if you're doing a popular card Hall of Fame that you want to turn heads and show people that football cards are interesting and nostalgic, but just have not an edge in a bad way, but just are taking graphic liberties, to do something creative. I think this is, can you imagine that card is what, 37 years old?
37 years old. Oh my God.
And
crazy.
That guy's amazing. And if he had not gotten injured, he would have had.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
He'd been setting records. Okay. I had so that was third. The Lombardi Trophy, I had 12th, and I would have it higher if it weren't for the fact that the Stanley Cup that ProSet did is the bigger deal.
Yeah.
And so when somebody does a hockey card Hall of Fame, I would vote for that. And if that got in, then at some point, I mean, this was extremely innovative. And so I had it as 12th.
Okay.
So not going to make my ballot. Emmett, I've met Emmett several times. I think he's a good guy. I remember hearing about him when he was in high school from a friend of mine that was from Pensacola. So I was over there, and they said, we got this high school running back. He's great. You're going to hear all about him. He's not so fast, but he had vision. He could see what was happening before it happened. So just great career. And I think a really solid guy. And unfortunately, Emmett, not voting for you for this card, but it's a good card. Favre, did not vote for him either. I think he's he's a complicated guy. Great quarterback. The durability records that he has.
Right.
But back at one point when we were doing price guides, Favre and Marino and Elway were kind of like all the same.
Yeah.
Or similar in price. And Marino is passed up Elway, who's passed up Favre, I think.
Right.
So not going to do that. Okay, surprise. Number 5. I'm voting for this Peyton. I want to get some newer cards in here. Peyton, again, he's, like I said, about a quintuple threat. He's got the additional, although Ditka had this too, of he's funny. He's funny. So I think being funny and he didn't have the greatest arm, but he was a great quarterback.
Yeah.
And
smart.
Made the most of what he had. He understood the game. And so he's my 5th pick on that. And then for Brady, he's my number 1 pick. I think Ray, I don't know if all you guys were there a few years ago, but I said, this has got to be in.
Yeah.
And now I don't think it was on the ballot the first year or two.
Right.
Because you were capping it at, maybe you're only doing the 20th century. But this is such a glamour card in the hobby, and it will be an enduring one.
Yeah.
And it's not, I remember back when we were doing the price guides, and when something is a rookie card, if it was too limited, the collectors would get frustrated because they wanted to get a complete set. They wanted to get all the rookie cards.
Right.
And this was, I think, is this numbered to 99 or 100 or it's I would say it's accessible. It's accessible for anybody that has a lot of money.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of them. And but I have this my first pick on my ballot just because I think people would expect to see that. And I'm not making Patrick Mahomes wait, but and again, the card you're showing, I think it's representative of all the Mahomes cards of his their parallels to this. So eventually Mahomes has to get in, absolutely, but not this year for me.
Gotcha.
But I think every year you guys are going to either, whether it's people writing in or you guys, being aware of what's going on, there are going to be more and more of, Josh Allen and Herbert and Joe Burrow. I wanted to get into this. Are you guys having a little bit of a make them wait just to even get on the ballot if they're still a current player? Because
really,
Mahomes is kind of the first one.
The modern stuff hasn't done well enough for us to try to continue to infuse the ballot with more and more. Like if Brady's, because Brady's SP Authentic got punted off the list. So when those cards are failing to even get enough votes to stay in the top 40 of the vote, then Josh Allen is going to be a long ways out still, right? So we're not excluding them, but the voters are telling us not to put them in there yet.
Right.
So you're saying the demand is not there. You're not making them wait. People aren't considering that. Maybe it's the potential voters are thinking, who, just like the regular halls of fame, you need to be retired for a few years.
Right.
Yeah, I think we had like LaDainian Tomlinson fall off the list. We had Ray Lewis fall off the list. So
Yeah.
just hasn't been the demand. The voters seem to really want the vintage variety to get in first, it would seem.
Yeah, and when those guys only have like one or just a few key rookies, and that well-known one not getting the votes, these modern era guys that'll have 40 or 50 different rookies without one, leading the pack.
True.
Be hard to pick one too. So it'll be interesting in a couple of years when we have to split those hairs.
Right. Dr. Beckett, as you were perusing the ballot before you came on, was there any vintage that came to your mind that you thought should deserve maybe a look at, like maybe Raymond Berry or Herb Adderley? I'm just thinking out loud.
Well, Raymond Berry, another SMU guy. I met him a long time ago, and he was a very nice man, very soft-spoken, and his personality fit his football demeanor of running precise routes, great hands, not super fast, but really reliable. Of course, he had Johnny Unitas throwing to him, but he went to SMU. He was an SMU Mustang where I went, and has passed away now. But he was so he's worthy. But again, he's not who you don't. Horning's got to go in way before Raymond Berry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know if we've talked about this, whether there's some kind of a limit on a set or limit on a player that you don't want to have more than 3 of any set or more than 3 of any player. I mean, that's an artificial constraint,
right?
But in the interest of getting more breadth and coverage, it's a thought. But
yeah, we do that.
Trust, right? You guys are the brain trust, right? It's not like you're putting it to a popular vote, other than once you put the ballot out there, you're saying, who do you guys want in?
Yeah, right. I guess we could shape it, right? So we only want so many of one set in a given time, and when the next one that we might introduce of that set is potentially, in that case, like a Raymond Berry, there's no chance it deserves to get in before Hornung. So if Hornung's still struggling and he's in the middle of the pack or something, we're still maybe a year away from putting Berry on the list, type of thing. That logic is definitely in the conversations.
And the same reason that people like vintage is that these guys have passed away. They can't mess up. They can't mess up. They're going to be popular at that level, but they also are not going to do anything to be in the public in the public square. I mean, they're not going to have a scandal, but they're not going to break any. If somebody had a record and that record was passed, then you'd remember, oh yeah, that guy was great. But so it's hard for them to make up ground. In
right?
The Baseball Hall of Fame, these players consistently work their way up the list in the publishing of that he got 20% one year and 30 the next year and 40 the next year. I guess you guys are not publishing that explicitly, but you probably could see that happening.
Yeah.
In your card Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And I think that's why Bart and Scott lowered it down to 5 too, because it's just doesn't go back that far like baseball does, and trying to stretch this out. I mean, there's still some players left in the 60s like Larry Zonka and Brian Piccolo. I know he wasn't a great player, but he is a big figure in the history of the game, and
for sure.
So Sam Huff and guys like that. And
yeah, it's very different. I mean, you know how it is. That we don't have the history and longevity of different sets that go way back. Plus, we don't have in the early days those regional issues and stuff. There's a couple here and there, but not in the same manner. We don't have those food issues that you see in baseball and all of those other things that in the 50s, 60s. It doesn't get big for football till later. So we've got to keep it a little smaller and more honed in for a while.
Right.
But it's the reason why I had 41 out of these 45 cards is because as long as you're talking about Leaf and Bowman and Topps and Fleer and Pro Set and Score and these others, I mean, basically those were popular mainstream sets that the advanced collectors back in the day would try to complete those sets. And so it's just like all the other guys. And baseball came first in those days, but football was a close second if you really liked football.
Right.
And you'd see them at shows, not as much as baseball, And frankly, they weren't produced as much as baseball. I
Right.
don't know that we'll ever know exactly what Topps print runs were, but would it have been half? I think less than half in the 50s.
Hmm.
And so there's room to, if supply is not there, if demand keeps increasing. Okay, having said that, I got to put you guys on the spot.
Yeah.
What if, because now since we last talked, I've not personally been acquired by PSA, but my former company and the brand that has my name on it has been acquired by Collectors, which is owns PSA.
Mm-hmm.
If PSA came to you guys and said, we want to license your Football Card Hall of Fame,
Where do we sign?
to make it a registry of the cards in your Hall of Fame.
Let's go.
What would you say to that? Because
a registry
there'd be a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth, because I'm trying to think if anybody, I guess conceivably somebody, I mean, there's no Hannes Wagner in there, but
right.
If you had enough money, I guess you could get all these that you haven't so far.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Scott
cool?
would love it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That
would be awesome. They would need to, work with us on updating it every year, and they don't often update sets.
No. Well, but it's not that huge, and
Right.
it'd be some buzz.
Right.
Because we all like those other sets, the 300 grid cards by Mike Payne, and
exactly. That was
we'd love to be in that vein.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the three of us live on the registry. The three of us are always
manageable. It's a positive thing, and I've had this conversation with Matt Turner,
mm-hmm.
and then other people that have not talked to Matt Turner are trying to figure out or hypothesize what he's going to do with his new acquisition, his new shiny toy,
mm-hmm.
and basically all this antitrust stuff or monopoly stuff. I mean, basically, I believe that he wants to do what's good for the hobby. This guy's would be good. You guys stepped out, did this thing. And if he were to do, it's the kind of thing that Collectors, with having, the largest grading company and having already registries, this is a positive thing that brings positive attention to to what you're doing, as well as these are some of the great cards in the whole hobby, especially of football.
Yeah.
And so
we would love that.
I would lobby him for that,
Yeah.
but I know he's got a long list of things he wants to do. But at this point, it would behoove him to do things that Collectors say, hey, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for using your market leadership and your market dominance to do something that's going to give us some joy.
Right.
Although they probably would need to broaden the registry, which I'm also in favor of including other grading brands.
Right. Well, we would definitely. Well, if you ever talk to him again, Dr. Beckett,
sure I will. But
you can throw a bone.
Last time I talked to him, it was mainly him asking me the questions.
Yeah,
so
gotcha.
It'll be my turn eventually. So
gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
But again, you guys are doing it. This would give it an additional level of.
God, yeah, without a doubt.
Okay,
Yeah.
now what?
Well, let's.
You bring up a good point, though. If the registry allowed for the Becketts and the SGCs to be in there,
Oh yeah,
that registry would blow up, and it would really do well. And I'm a PSA guy through and through, but it would really do well for the continuation of the SGCs and Becketts and stuff too. I think that would be, if he's looking to keep those brands alive and strong, that would help a lot.
Well,
I agree.
I did mention to him when I talked to him that I do want to talk to him about the a more inclusive registry and pop reports under one roof. And I had an idea how
it makes sense.
I'm not going to disclose that, but I'm just saying, I said, when you're getting ready to do that, if you want some input, actually, I kind of said, I know what I would do if I were you. You want to know what I would do if I were you?
All right.
He didn't say, "Well, you're not me."
Right.
He just said, "Well, we'll see when the time comes." But I think that's something they have to be considering because,
It makes sense.
like you guys are saying, you guys are hardcore. We're all hardcore. We're lifers, and a lot of the inner circle of most passionate collectors would see there's got to be a way to do that, and I hope there is. So I would push for that.
To go through your picks again, you picked the 2000 playoff contenders, Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's number one.
The 1998 SP Authentic, Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that's number 5.
Then you picked the Vince Lombardi was on the outside of your top 10.
That's
it
number
was
12, so that's not 10. Yeah.
The 89 score supplemental Bo Jackson is one of your selections.
I think that would shock people, but that was in the heyday of our magazines and just that the buzz that we had when we put Two Sport kinds of photos and artwork on the covers of our magazines. They just did great. He was a cultural phenomenon.
Plus the color's cool.
And the color's cool, yeah.
Then you picked the Reggie White.
Reggie was number 7, yeah.
And
LT number
that's right.
So he's in my top 10.
And then you picked the
Ditka.
Got to go way back further here to Mike Ditka.
Ditka. I had him number 4.
And no one the Blanda, no one the Lansford.
Landry, he had real high.
Landry is my.
Lansford was up there, wasn't he?
Yep, Tom Landry was up there.
I had it to number 2.
Doak
Walker
Walker's number 3. Yep.
My 10 and 9, which is Doak and Bobby Lane. They're homer picks.
They're
Lane. Very worthy too, but I'm just saying if everybody else going to vote for their home favorites, I'm going to do mine too.
And Clark Hinkle.
In my honor of my dad, I had Clark Hinkle.
All great picks.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
If the Pro Football Hall of Fame is making Belichick wait, how come you're not making Brady wait on your ballot?
Well, there's a theory on that they're going to make Brady wait until
I heard that
he's going to go in when Belichick and Robert Kraft get in.
Yeah,
in a few years, and they don't have the guts to make Brady wait. But the point being that their success is so inextricably intertwined that, but I think they all had greatness, each in a different way. But Brady did it on the field, and Belichick did it with different casts and found a way to. I just don't even know how he did it, but he was a great coach in a certain way. Now you've never had Belichick on the ballot. He doesn't have good enough cards. He's got pro set.
Ugly Brown. Yeah. I was all for that Belichick and Kraft. Now that because the way the voting works, it leaves votes for L.C. Greenwood, Roger Craig, and Ken Anderson to get in because they're in that same grouping. And I'd love to see Roger Craig get in this year, so that'd be awesome.
Ken Anderson, wow.
I think.
I don't know about.
So, what do you guys think? I think it's Craig, then Anderson, then LC, in that order, and I don't think LC Greenwood's going to get in, and unless they're sympathetic to Cincinnati or Bengals or something. Mm-hmm. But the 49ers were pretty close to a dynasty,
right?
And Roger Craig was central to that and was the prototypical run and catch guy.
Yeah.
He had 3 touchdowns first Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was the first versatile running back that I can remember that would get 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving, which was unheard of at that time.
He led the league in receptions one year.
Yeah.
Overall,
yeah.
No, he's
overdue.
Yeah. Well, if anybody, guys, if you have any other questions for Dr. Beckett, we really greatly appreciate your opinions on all of this and having you on. It's a lot of fun.
You guys aren't even pushing back?
No, I like your picks,
We love to hear it. I mean, it's just ingesting where the fans are, for.
I like to hear your ideas of what you think should be put on the ballot. That's why I was asking about Raymond Berry. I'm not saying to get in before Paul Horney, but when we take off cards off the ballot that get in, what would you like to? What your opinion should be on the ballot that hasn't been yet? Like Barry or Herb Adderley is a interesting one.
You have 89 score, Barry?
Yeah,
he's in.
He's already in. No, I mean, Bart made a great point. You know, without having these regional hot dog issues that baseball had in the 50s, those are just amazing, you know, interesting artwork that's of the players that people love. And what you have is mainly mainstream great football cards. And so, well, like I've said before, Ray, do you try to pick one guy or two guys from the 50s, two guys from the 60s, two guys from the 70s, two guys from the 80s, or or some kind of spread like that to spread it out? Like the Baseball Hall of Fame is the Veterans Committee and the modern, or the whatever, the 1980 to 2000, where they mainly something.
I know at Basketball Card Hall of Fame, Tony and they split it to modern and vintage.
Yeah, I think
it's a possibility.
But again, just going to 5 is really smart, because
definitely
they're not going to get in unless there really is.
This would have been done by year 5 with 10 cards. It's tough.
That added piece of the superstar players, they don't really have strong secondary cards either, right? There are other, there are other years of cards. It's not like Mantle where he can get cards into the Baseball Card Hall of Fame or something like that with 51s, 52s, and 53 all the way on. The second most popular Jim Brown card, it's not going to make the ballot too soon. Whether that's the 62 or the 59, it's not even close to some of it.
It's pretty much got to be all the rookies. Yeah.
What's the best second-year card in football?
Probably the Jim Brown, right?
It's tough because there aren't
Namath
that carry up.
But again, big drop off.
Namath doesn't have a second one until No, he's got the TV, right? Just popular, but it's face, so he doesn't have a lot of green. Doesn't have the Jets representation.
Unitas, not. I mean, it's so your point. It's terrible. In baseball, you can think of a lot of, like Pete Rose. There are people that prefer his second-year card to his.
I do.
His rookie card.
I love that
but
card.
Is there anything like that in football? I don't think there is.
No.
The Brett Favre card, actually, the 92 Stadium Club, is pretty popular considering the 91 was his rookie. But it's his first year in a Packers uniform.
Yeah.
So a lot of Packers collectors.
Well, that would be a good example.
Yeah. Yeah.
And frankly, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s, these football players didn't change teams as much as they do now.
Yeah.
In the 21st century, there's just it's hard to be loyal to somebody that Micah Parsons is a Packer now.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Fighting words.
On that note, well, we greatly appreciate you coming on, Dr. Beckett, once again.
Thanks, guys.
We really look forward to this every year, and hopefully we can keep having you on and sharing your knowledge. It's just it's awesome. So we greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to get something out for my channel. So if anybody hasn't voted, they can vote, and I will be voting tonight.
Cool.
I'll be voting tonight.
All right.
I think I'm going to tip the scales for anybody, but we'll see. But thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Go out and vote right now. You still have 2 more days till Friday, February 6th, to vote for the 4th annual Football Card Hall of Fame. And thanks, guys. Thanks, Bart. Thanks, Scott. And thank you, Dr. Beckett.
Ray, when is it noon on? Is it at 6 a.m. on February 6th? Is it noon? Is it midnight? February
what time
6th?
Is it, guys?
When do you cut it off?
Let's see if I have it in the.
I don't remember saying a time out loud.
8
p.m. Friday night.
Yeah. Okay.
Ray's bedtime Friday night.
Oh my God. Yeah. Bart knows. It's like I'm going to be.
And you're going to be announcing it the next morning. Well,
Next,
it's probably automated voting, but
Super Bowl weekend.
yeah.
All right. Thank you guys.
Okay.
I really
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
it.
Thanks.
Take care.
You bet.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye.